Death is mysterious, unknown. We all are trying to understand what is hidden behind, explore the world of the dead using any possibility, imagining, guessing, creating, capturing stories, myths, and theories. Being amazed and scared by this event, our ancestors created multiple rituals and traditions connecting with the afterlife that could guarantee the comfortable time spending on the other side. Today, we're going to speak about difficult, mysterious, strange, and sometimes terrifying Slavic funeral traditions, which left a big mark on a nowadays conception of burying. Hi, I'm Stacy, and we are talking about the other side of Russia. So grab something strong, make yourself comfortable, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell not to miss anything. And we are starting. According to booklets on the Slavic alphabet and word analysis, the word smert, death, means smena mirnosti, or changing of the dimension, place of being, moving of the soul from one world to another, which was not an extremely sad occasion, not the thing Slavic people were afraid of. And the more intelligent, the more kind a person was, the better he understood the real meaning of death, and the less he was afraid of it, because nothing is to be afraid of. It's just the transition of a state. Famous Russian poet Mikhail Lermontov wrote, "It's not the death that I'm afraid of. Oh no, I'm afraid to disappear completely." He's speaking about being disappeared as something eternal, to be gone as a soul. Another poet, Roman philosophist Lucius Annae Seneca, lived in the 4th century before Christ, wrote, "The death of the wise is the death with no fear of death." So this clearly shows the ancient pagan attitude to this many-sided event in humans' lives. After the human dies, the body should have spent 3 days with shamans and druids who are reading special spells, telling the soul about what it should expect being in the other world. It was so called the Book of the Dead, and it deserves a separate video. Slavic call it parting book, and not a live being should ever hear it, because what meant for the dead is not meant for the living. Then the body was taken to his home on earth, and the next 3 days it spent with his family. It was so called farewell. All the mirrors were covered with dark fabric, because people believed the deceased could be reflected in the mirror and take the first soul he got to the world of the dead. Relatives put heavy coins on the eyes of the deceased, not to let them open. They didn't lock the doors, because the soul was somewhere near the body, walking through the house and listening to people talking. And if it comes to the door which was locked, the soul could stay in the house for nearly 3 years. A copper wire was tied to the middle finger of the right hand, leaving the end in a container with earth. Right hand is giving the energy, and left is taking it. That's why it was placed on the right. Dead body cells are collapsing and creates the energy need to be put somewhere, so they took the earth. On the 7th day, the body prepared to be burned. It was taken out of the house with its feet forward, as if the person left the house himself. After the body left the house, Slavic people made some rites to close the gate to Knife World, the world of the dead, not to let the new death come in. The way Slavic buried their dead people reflected the respectful attitude to the soul in its further life in the world of the dead. Men were buried together with their armor, wives, food, and even horses and pets. Women were buried with the tableware and home accessories. The dead was dressed in his best clothes and surrounded by things he used being alive. Practically all the funeral rituals described were connected with the fire. Whether it was a bonfire or a ritual boat, it was believed, and still believed actually, that only the fire could set the soul free and make it go straight to the world of the dead. The physical body was burned in minutes, releasing all the rest 8 bodies of a human: aura, energy, cosmic body, figurative body, karma, spiritual body, supreme body, and soul body. And being released, they took their place in the rod, or family protecting system, and the soul itself went to the world of the dead, continuing its journey. Slavic people used boats for funerals because it was believed the soul should cross the Smorodina River, the red fire river, separating the world of the living from the world of the dead. Sometimes we could meet a version that the soul should cross Kalinov Most, the bridge across the Smorodina River, but I think it depends on how the person was buried. The fire was made of special kinds of trees like birch, which was a sacred tree, and oak tree, which was thought to be a divine, the tree of god Perun. So this way, the rite became a ritual under the aegis of gods. The husband should have been burned together with one of his wives, and they had no right to refuse. The young girl were prepared for this ritual from the very young age. The ritual was held on the dawn, which symbolized 3 things: the dawn of the life, and going down sun was like going to the world of the dead, taking the soul of a deceased there. And another interpretation is that the soul could see the light of coming down sun and understand where it should go. While funeral fire was burning, Slavic people sang ritual songs and pronounced spells. Also, they held stravy, the feast on the honor of deceased, and trizny, the fighting games and funeral rituals. In the morning, the ashes was put to a special pot and placed to a hunt on a pole, the so-called house or domavina. Such hunts were placed on the roads on the way from the village to the sunset. It was believed that souls of deceased could live in such houses for some time. So these houses look like a small hut size of 1.5 to 2 meters with a roof and small window. The 4th wall was absent, so people coming for commemoration could leave some food inside. Sometimes the pot with the ashes was placed in the middle of the ring made from stones on the ground. It seemed to be a sacrifice to the god Perun and a request to help the soul to find a way to the world of the dead. Few centuries before the burning of dead became popular, deceased Slavic pagan people were put to the ground in the position of embryo. That carried the idea of a life circle. So funeral rituals represented the final stage of the earth being and helped the soul to find the comfortable way to the world of the dead. So what, guys, do you think about all those numerous funeral traditions? Maybe you have some in your culture. Give this video a thumbs up or down as you feel it to be. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and I'm leaving you now for so long. See you in the next video. Bye.